Who is Darklink, and how did this mini-boss make such a lasting impression? Ocarina of Time set the standard for an entire generation of gaming. Often touted for its large open world, genre-defying combat and puzzle solving, and an immersive soundtrack, there's one critical aspect of gameplay that's often overlooked. Quiet, understated storytelling that requires the player to read between the lines. In today's video, we'll dive back into the Water Temple and wade through the misty pools of Darklink's domain to explore what made this battle so memorable. The familiar clang of a locked dungeon door signals that trouble is ahead. As our hero steps forward, something is clearly different about this next opponent. We are surrounded by an infinite horizon of seafoam green. The floor has been replaced with a tranquil lagoon, and a withered tree on a small island obstructs our view of the exit. With no structures or objects to explore, we pass the threshold of the withered tree and approach the door in the distance, only to find it locked with the same bars that trapped us here. We pause, unsure of how to proceed, and turn back to find what we missed upon entering this unsettling sanctuary. Our opponent flickers into view, a motionless phantom copy of Link, quietly observing the hero of time. As we approach the apparition, Navi yells, "Watch out!" The feeling of meeting Darklink is a rare moment of stillness in an adventure-based game about restoring balance to a world in chaos. Although the development of Ocarina of Time was not primarily focused on story-driven progression, there is an undeniable atmosphere of longing, sobriety, and regret that is pervasive in all the game's quiet moments. Battling Darklink is a defining moment for our young hero. At this point in Link's journey, he has seen the consequence of the decisions he's made as a child and is forced to acknowledge his part in the decaying state of Hyrule. When arriving at Lake Hylia as an adult, Link is confronted with one of the harshest examples of the passage of time. An entire race of Hyrule is suspended in ice and nearing extinction. Link receives some cryptic counsel from Sheik before entering the Water Temple. As with all of Sheik's insight, here he offers clues about what to expect in the next part of our journey. The Water Temple's central theme is that of reflection. From the shimmering ambient sounds in the temple's main theme song, to the repetitive rooms and looping nature of dungeon advancement, and the literal reflections of water bouncing off every wall, the developers have set the stage for one of the most humbling encounters this game has to offer. When Link takes his first steps in Darklink's domain, we can see a mirror image of the hero reflected in the quiet tides below him. This reflection is unique to this room, and a technical feat considering system hardware constraints. The mechanic is intentional. Link's reflection disappears as he crosses the withered tree in the center of the battlefield, and his true opponent is unveiled. The hero is challenged by his own image, a shadowed reflection of himself. Self-reflection is defined as the capacity of humans to exercise introspection and the willingness to learn about their fundamental nature, purpose, and essence. At the halfway mark of his journey, Link is given the opportunity to reflect on what has brought him to this point. When Link sees himself on the other side of his own blade, who does he see, and what does he ask? Reflection leads us to the inescapable, universal questions that help define our true selves. The moments when we must face ourselves occur during the most important milestones in our lives, the good and the bad. Overcoming any adversity requires contemplation, honesty, and courage from within. We must have courage to look at the fundamental nature of our actions, the purpose that drives us, and our motives for pursuing the path that lies ahead. This is the heart of Link's encounter with his shadowed self. With all the damage that's been caused due to his actions as a child, can he, and should he, continue his journey? How can he reconcile with the mistakes of his past? The battle with Darklink is not only unique in atmosphere, but in combat as well. Initially, our foe is docile. He will only begin to attack once you lay the first strike. Instead, he acts as a foreboding reminder of regret until you choose the path of courage for yourself. Darklink always has the same number of hearts as you, and he's familiar with all your standard attacks. He can dodge, mirror, and parry most sword attacks with ease. sometimes even jumping on the tip of your blade to taunt you. In some ways, this fight seems to personify Link's acknowledgement and internal struggle with his past. As the player, we know the trials Link has faced to get here, and the answers to some of the profound questions that may plague our hero when looking inward. Link's first instinct is to approach this battle by using the tactics he is trained in. He is a soldier and a master swordsman. We often rely on instincts, our habitual tendencies, to soothe ourselves with what we know during difficult times. While Link's abilities with a sword have proven useful in defeating each foe so far, the skills he's built up to protect himself are useless when faced with the internal plight of his past decisions. Dark Link can predict his every move because they are one and the same. Link is burdened by his destiny and held back by the Master Sword in this battle. Reflecting helps us develop our abilities and review their effectiveness, rather than just carry on doing things the way that we've always done them. It is about questioning what you do and why you do it, and then deciding whether there is a better or more efficient way of doing it in the future. Without reflection, we can often find ourselves stuck and repeating unhelpful or destructive patterns. The battle with Dark Link becomes much easier when Link challenges his habitual tendencies and instead makes use of the other tools he's found on his journey so far. The Megaton Hammer, Dim's Fire, and even Deku Nuts are much more effective weapons against Dark Link than the sword that has bound him to his fate. Similarly, through self-reflection, we can consider which tools are most effective when facing the somber realities of our past decisions. As the battle continues, Dark Link becomes more opaque, less of a shadow, and his eyes glow red with malice. His attacks become more aggressive and difficult to dodge. As we challenge the things that scare us, they seem to become bigger, scarier, and even more difficult to overcome. This is the nature of healing. As we get closer to the source of our trauma, the louder it sounds. When Dark Link is finally defeated, his cry radiates through the infinite walls of his sanctuary. The foggy abyss of this realm dissolves as you approach the exit, to reveal the familiar stone walls of the Water Temple. Like many obstacles in life, the reality of our situation is often much more straightforward than the illusion we can create. This triumph marks Link's acceptance of his destiny as the hero of time. When forced to confront his own reflection, he chose a path forward by making peace with the difficult decisions of his past. The significance of this battle, amongst all the memorable bosses in Zelda history, really comes down to the very human desire and fear of facing one's true self. Players of any age can understand how difficult it is to find courage when we feel trapped by our own thoughts. Exploring the bounds and responsibilities of our conscience is not often questioned while enjoying one of our favorite forms of escapism. Link serves as a method of immersion for the player, a blank, speechless avatar that allows us to become the hero. So, as Link battles the reflections of his past in the cold pools of the Water Temple, what is being asked of us? After hearing some kind words from a newly awakened Sage of Water, Link meets Sheik under a withered tree on a small island in the middle of a tranquil lagoon. The two share a moment of quiet reflection while observing the sun's rays gleaming off the restored waters of Lake Hylia. Sheik takes 2 steps back without warning and disappears. Link finds himself alone, once again faced with the solitude of a hero's journey. His desires, fears, and past still his own to conquer. I hope you enjoyed time traveling with me today to read between the lines of one of gaming's most ambiguous bosses. If you liked the video, feel free to leave a like. And if you want to explore more contextual themes from Ocarina of Time, be sure to hit subscribe. Until next time.